Concrete jungle? Not anymore. Let's face it, folks, some cities look like giant parking lots. Endless rows of cars, asphalt, and concrete as far as the eye can see. Gray, boring, and about as inviting as a dentist's chair. It's no wonder people feel stressed and disconnected in such environments, but it doesn't have to be this way. Imagine a city where green spaces are woven into the urban fabric, offering a breath of fresh air amidst the hustle and bustle. Transforming our open spaces is like giving our cities a much-needed makeover. It's about more than just aesthetics, it's about creating a healthier, more vibrant community. We're talking parks, plazas, and those little patches of green that remind us nature hasn't given up on us yet. These spaces can become the heart and soul of our neighborhoods. These spaces aren't just about looking pretty though, they serve a much deeper purpose. They're about creating places where people actually want to hang out, places where friendships are formed and communities are strengthened, places to meet your neighbors, walk the dog, or just escape the concrete jungle for a bit. These green spaces offer a sanctuary from the daily grind. When we put some thought into our open spaces, we make our cities more livable, one park bench at a time. It's about creating a sense of belonging and well-being. Now, I'm not talking about turning our cities into some kind of utopian fantasy land. That's not realistic. I'm talking about common sense changes that make a big difference. Simple, thoughtful improvements that enhance our daily lives. Think of it like this. You wouldn't want your house to look like a mishmash of random junk, would you? No way. You want it to be organized, inviting, a place where you can unwind. You want it to feel put together, welcoming, a place where you can kick off your work boots and relax. The same principle applies to our cities. Our cities deserve the same kind of love and attention. By investing in our public spaces, we create environments that nurture our well-being and foster a sense of community. Let's turn our concrete jungles into thriving urban oases. Ever notice how some cities just feel cohesive? Like every element is part of a grand design fitting together seamlessly? It's as if everything fits together in a way that makes perfect sense, creating a unified and pleasing aesthetic. A big part of that is having a unified look in our open spaces. This means that parks, streets, and public areas all share a common design language. I'm talking about using similar materials and design elements throughout the city. This could be anything from the type of stone used in pavements to the style of benches and lampposts. Think of it like a signature style. Just like a fashion brand has a distinct look, a city can have its own unique aesthetic. Maybe your city is known for its sleek, modern benches and lampposts. These elements can give a contemporary feel to the urban environment. Or maybe it's all about that rustic, reclaimed wood vibe. This can create a warm, inviting atmosphere that feels both timeless and eco-friendly. Whatever it is, consistency is key. When design elements are consistent, it ties the whole city together. When things match, it creates a sense of harmony and order. This not only makes the city more beautiful, but also more navigable and user-friendly. Plus, it just looks darn good. A well-designed city can be a source of pride for its residents and a draw for visitors. Now I know what you're thinking. Mike, are you saying every park bench in the city has to be identical? Hold your horses, folks. Variety is the spice of life. I'm all for a little variety. Different styles can add character and interest to a city, but just like a good stew needs a balance of flavors, our cities need a balance of consistency and diversity. Too much of one can overwhelm the other. We can have different types of benches and planters, sure, but let's make sure they complement each other. This way, we maintain a cohesive look while still allowing for individual expression. Think of it as creating a family resemblance, not cloning the same park bench 1,000 times over. Each element should feel like it belongs to the same family, even if they have their own unique characteristics. Ever walk into a room and feel instantly relaxed, like the weight of the world just lifted off your shoulders? Believe it or not, good design can do that. I'm talking about things like symmetry, proportion, and flow. It's not just about making things look pretty, it's about creating spaces that feel good to be in. Take symmetry, for example. Our brains are hardwired to find it pleasing. It suggests balance and order, which subconsciously puts us at ease. And then there's proportion. Nobody wants to feel cramped in a tiny plaza or dwarfed by a giant imposing sculpture. When we design our open spaces with these principles in mind, we create environments that are both aesthetically pleasing and psychologically comforting. It's like giving our brains a much-needed vacation from the chaos of city life. And who wouldn't want a little more peace and tranquility in their lives? Okay folks, let's talk numbers. We all know that money talks, but what if I told you that clean air and green spaces could make your wallet sing? I know, math isn't everyone's favorite subject. But bear with me because these numbers are worth your attention. But trust me on this one. The figures we're about to dive into are not just interesting, they're game-changing. Investing in well-designed open spaces isn't just good for the soul, it's good for the wallet too. Imagine a place where you can relax, unwind, and also see your property value soar. Studies have shown that properties near well-maintained parks and green spaces can see their value jump by 15 to 20%. That's a significant boost, folks. That's right, folks, we're talking cold, hard cash. Imagine the financial benefits of living near a beautiful park. And it's not just about property values. Green spaces offer so much more. Green spaces act like giant air filters, scrubbing out pollutants and pumping out fresh oxygen. They are the lungs of our cities. In fact, some studies suggest that strategic tree planting can improve air quality by a whopping 25%. That's a breath of fresh air, literally. Now, I'm not saying we should all become real estate moguls or tree-hugging hippies, but there's a balance to be struck. But it's clear that investing in our open spaces is a win-win situation. We get so much more than just a pretty view. We get healthier, happier communities, and our wallets get a little fatter in the process. It's a holistic approach to better living. That's what I call a good deal. So let's embrace the green and watch our lives and our bank accounts flourish. Section 5. Nature's Little Helpers. Let's face it, folks, concrete jungles can get a little, well, concretey. That's where our green friends come in. Trees, plants, and water features aren't just pretty decorations. They're like little superheroes fighting for a better city. Trees are like the lungs of our urban environment, sucking up carbon dioxide and pumping out fresh oxygen. They provide shade, reduce noise pollution, and even help prevent soil erosion. Plus, they just make the place look nicer. And let's not forget about water features. A well-placed fountain or reflecting pool can transform a harsh, concrete plaza into a tranquil oasis. Adding these natural elements to our open spaces is like giving our cities a breath of fresh air. It's about creating a balance between the built environment and the natural world. And trust me, a little bit of nature goes a long way in making our cities more livable. Section 6. Let there be light and safety. Now let's talk about safety, folks. Nobody wants to walk through a park at night and feel like they're in a horror movie. That's where good lighting comes in. And I'm not just talking about those harsh, blinding spotlights that make you feel like you're on a prison yard. We need lighting that's both functional and aesthetically pleasing. Warm, inviting lights that illuminate pathways, highlight architectural features, and create a sense of safety and security. And here's a little secret: good lighting can actually increase foot traffic. People are naturally drawn to well-lit areas. So by investing in effective lighting, we're not just making our open spaces safer, we're making them more inviting and vibrant. It's about creating spaces where people feel comfortable gathering, even after the sun goes down. And that's a beautiful thing. Section 7. Teamwork makes the dream work. Alright folks, here's the thing about transforming our cities. It's not a one-man job. It takes a team effort, a collaboration between architects, city planners, and most importantly, the community. Architects bring their design expertise to the table, creating spaces that are both functional and beautiful. City planners make sure those spaces fit into the larger urban fabric, addressing issues like traffic flow and accessibility. But the real magic happens when the community gets involved. Nobody knows a neighborhood better than the people who live and work there. They know the shortcuts, the gathering spots, the little quirks that make their neighborhood special. By tapping into that local knowledge, we can create open spaces that truly reflect the needs and desires of the community. Section 8. From concrete cages to urban oases. So, what are we waiting for? Let's stop treating our open spaces like afterthoughts and start thinking of them as essential parts of our urban ecosystem. Let's swap out those drab concrete plazas for vibrant parks and plazas. Let's trade in those rusty old benches for inviting seating areas. Let's plant trees, install water features, and light up our cities in a way that celebrates both beauty and functionality. Let's transform our concrete cages into urban oases, one park bench, one tree, one light fixture at a time. It's time to show our cities some love, folks. Section 9. The future is bright and green. The future of our cities doesn't have to be a dystopian nightmare of concrete and steel. We have the power to create urban environments that are both functional and beautiful, spaces that nourish our souls as well as our bodies. By embracing the principles of good design, incorporating natural elements, and most importantly, listening to the needs of our communities, we can transform our cities into vibrant, thriving ecosystems. The future is bright, folks, and with a little hard work and a lot of collaboration, it's going to be green too.